Howdy folks, this is Checkers, and this will probably be Checkers channel news. News about me and the channel, so sort of a vlog kind of thing. If you're not into that, please feel free to abandon now. If you want to know what's going on, please feel free to stick around, and I will try and explain what I can. So, first off, I should say that the channel is not doing well. It's basically bleeding subscribers, and for the first time, well, since January of 2016, I actually won't be paid by YouTube because, well, I haven't made $100 this month. I don't usually make much more than that, but I've always managed to be at least enough over it so that I got paid. This time, not so much. I'm not crying about that and not trying to express that as a YouTuber's problem, but it is a bit of a problem. It will slow me down in checking out other games. I just can't really do that. This along with Patreon, and to everyone who supports me on Patreon, thank you so much. But this and Patreon are pretty much it. I also do stream on Twitch. I haven't ever made the $100 I need to get paid by Twitch, so that doesn't really come into play yet. But I am doing it more. I'm going over there to stream more, mainly because it's fun. It does require considerably less preparation and, well, not really any editing at all. So that's neat. My point about all this is YouTube is pushing me to turn on something. What is it? Channel subscriptions or channel memberships here on YouTube. I don't know. You know, I'm not really very good at being the whole social media personality thing, and which is probably why everything isn't going very well, but such is life. I might turn it on, I might not. In some ways, turning it on seems like rewarding YouTube for hurting me, but I don't really know what's going on. So it's hard not to tie the channel's success into my own self-worth. I should know better than that. I don't entirely seem to, but I should. It's painful watching it go backwards. I've twisted and turned and tried to do everything everyone's ever recommended to me, and I have never succeeded. So maybe I just suck at this in general. Hard for me, personally, to say. I'm a little too close. I can't see the forest because I'm standing right in front of a tree. Anyway, I suppose that's also been a motivation to go to Twitch. It just seems less unkind than YouTube can be. But who knows? I think part of the feeling, how I feel between YouTube and Twitch, comes down to when I was a kid, television was live. There was no such thing as a DVR, you know. You watched it live or you missed everything. So the technology of being able to record things, being able to play it back, a DVR, for instance, video on demand, was the desired thing. Going to live streaming seems somewhat backwards to me, but if people enjoy it, it is fun to do. It's just kind of hard for me to wrap my old mind around, I guess. I've been dabbling in other things, I have the Ultima 4 Let's Play, which is going to go on despite low numbers because I think historically it's a very important series, and I'm going to actually continue that Ultima series no matter what. YouTube can take me down to no pay at all, and I will run the series just to spite them and keep taking up their bandwidth and server space. Because, well, the whole reason the Ultima 4 series is there is having watched someone's video about Anthem and listening to them say that Baldur's Gate invented the computer role-playing genre overnight in 1998, 18 years after the first computer role-playing game came out, at least the first one I know about. So it seems to me as if some of the older games need to be waved around a little bit so people remember them, because many of the things you know today, many of the things you love today, came from those older games. And I actually am really, really, really excited by the Ultima series. There are so many good things in those series. Ultima 5, I think, came out in 1987 or 1988. First computer role-playing game with a day-night cycle and NPCs that go to work and come home at night. And, this is some advanced stuff. Stuff that makes my old brain go, why haven't we gone further in this day and age? Mainly, I think, because we spent way too much time worrying about graphics and not nearly enough time worrying about how we play the games or what's in the games we play. I've also been playing The Division 2, which is actually considerably more fun than it has any right to be. I'm honestly astonished that a AAA publisher like Ubisoft could create something that is just that fun. So well done to Ubisoft. We'll see more of that between the stream and the channel and all of that. Oh, I don't announce any of the stream stuff on YouTube because YouTube doesn't like that. So if you want to know when I stream on Twitch, you can find that on Twitter. YouTube used to automatically post to Twitter when I posted videos, but apparently they don't like that either anymore. So I think a lot of the diminution of my channel can be attributed to the fact that they don't tell nearly all of my subscribers. If I had to guess, I'd say maybe, half of 1%, maybe 1% total. I would say that they also suggest my videos less in concert with other people's stuff. I absolutely believe that anything I do that isn't Fallout 4 is punished. Basically, YouTube thinks I can do one thing, and that's Fallout 4, and that's it. And anything else they will not promulgate to the masses because, well, my Fallout 4 videos have millions of views. My other ones don't. So obviously I need to be beaten senseless whenever I step outside of Fallout 4. Speaking of being beaten senseless, I am not as healthy as I was when I started all of this 3 years ago. I am eroding, not necessarily disintegrating, but eroding. I can't play even The Division 2 for very long now before I get dizzy. Even in PvE, used to take PvP to add that little extra bit of excitement, but well, I still love to play, and I have so many games I want to play and I want to show you guys, and it's just finding the time in the day and the times of days where I actually feel good enough to do it, and then where the world around me is quiet because my apartment is oh so not ready for recording anything. Anyway, I digress. The latest on my health is that the last neurologist I saw thinks it is something called CIDP, chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. There, I think I got it right. Basically, my autoimmune system is attacking my autonomic nervous system and eating the myelin coating from my nerves. Normally that starts at the extremities and works its way into more important systems. The neurologist, this past neurologist, thinks that it went the other way with me. It started on the more important things, like the vagus nerve, which can control my heartbeat, and then worked its way into currently my feet, where I don't feel my toes, or occasionally I do feel them, but it feels like someone's peeled the skin off them and they are screaming in pain. And for those who are going to ask the question, no, I'm not diabetic. I just had a blood test done literally 2 weeks ago. This is definitely a nerve thing. I've actually had some nerve conductivity studies done on me. However, all of that being said, I'm going to another neurologist in a few days because, well, first off, because I feel like the first one was unkind to me, and that's putting it gently. I don't really want to elaborate on how unkind. Let's just say, to some degree, I felt violated, and I didn't like that. I drove home from that appointment in the fetal position in the passenger seat, and I don't want to experience that again. I'm not entirely sure I could experience that again and not hurt someone. But yeah, that wasn't fun. The way I know things are not going in a positive direction is that I'm having more trouble with my memory as well. I'm having more trouble remembering what I do, even from episode to episode. When I say that I forget things, or if you ask me something and I don't quite respond the way you might think or way you might hope, it's not because I'm trying to be unkind. It's just because I don't remember, and it's getting worse. And, when you start losing your memory, your first instinct is to panic. And the one thing I realized when it started years ago, and I panicked, was that I was making it worse lots faster. I think probably because my heart rate was going up, so my condition was kicking in, so less blood is going into my brain, and essentially I just kept doing more and more damage. Anyway, that's where we are. I still try and do my exercises. I'm also taking other physical damage. Yay me. More in bones than anything else. Mainly my spine, which may also be causing some of the nerve problems. But hopefully the new neurologist is going to be able to tell me more about all of that. And there is hope. I'm not, certainly not giving up hope or giving up making videos or anything. My doctor submitted me to something that sounds kind of like, the way he described it is like House MD. I never watched that show, so I don't know exactly what that means, but the way it was described sounded really cool, so there's that. And there's, in the meantime, lots of fun things for us to play and make videos about and do, and so, yeah. Trying to stay as positive as I can and have fun in the meantime, because nobody else is going to have fun for me. Well, they might, but it probably won't feel quite the same. So anyway, that is where we are with the channel and with the checkers. I'm doing the best I can, and the channel is, it's not, you know, going to die tomorrow, but it is difficult to watch it go backwards. And backwards it currently doth go. And I don't really have a solution for that. I don't know how to turn that around. I suppose we'll see where it all goes from here. Let me know if you think the channel membership thing is a good idea. And, you know, remember that I am on Twitch, and the link is in the description of the video to me there, and yeah. And again, thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. You guys, whenever I tie my self-worth to my channel too much and the channel goes backwards, I can still remember that there are people out there who like what I do enough to actually support me. And, you know, if you can't afford to support me, this is no kind of, I'm not trying to guilt anyone into doing that by any means. I get it, man. You know, before I had this channel for like, I don't even know how many years, I had nothing. I had no income. I get it. You know, if you watch the channel and you watch the ads for me, I really appreciate that. That is so kind of you. I know how annoying the ads can be, and I just want to say thank you to all of you. Even if, you know, you don't do any of that and you just like my videos, really, truly, I appreciate that. I thank you all for all of your kindness. You guys are absolutely wonderful, and you make it easier to remain positive, to feel positive as all of these things happen around me. And I just want to say thank you so much. And I hope that I find the time to show you guys all of the things that I want to show you, because they are so, so cool. You know, from Ultima 4, this role-playing game about becoming a paragon of virtues, to the rest of the Ultima series, which is just incredible. And the history of where Ultima took us. You may think that, say, Wolfenstein 3D is the first-person shooter. I would actually argue that it was Ultima Underworld 1, which is an offshoot of the Ultima series. From that series came System Shock. From System Shock, BioShock. So Ultima has had a finger in so many things. All right, anyway, I'm just kind of chattering on here. I just wanted to say thank you guys for everything. I hope you found the video informative and maybe even just a little entertaining. I would like to invite you to subscribe. Thank you kindly if you are already subscribed. I also like to invite you to like and to share if you so desire. Most of all, though, I would like to ask you to please, please take care.